any of you still fails to declare your assets, count yourself automatically dismissed.
Our country, Ghana, is under siege.
This demonstration is for the good people of Ghana.
NDC under President Mahama, a third-term agenda.
Yes, some phone you know kwaba ebiom emra jumadie so after say NPP one demonstration omoye de tia His Excellency John Dramani Mahama efa Chief Justice hono ensema sieche pa quick one yeremu information nyina eba enwachi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wa voice out ama e the pressure atun krofo so eyenkrofo ya ebesan so raho na afe no yeremu nsem nyina ba weni foforo bi ni aboabo ano a yede ni nyina ebre ahefo ba na sana commander ebe run nsem no no
yeah
ense we yebeka na say NPP
of course
omo na lead this demonstration
yeah
within 4 months omo se niam nkoyie His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene na ban pese omu Chief Justice efiho na demonstration ni mo no ense information si achi
of course
but then ebesi yakọ na yakọ he de si ho eba enim se emu bebebre ho a yenya videos ni bia hwe anansa na ene information ni beba no o de yankọ he de si ho ene de NPP amanyuko no wo de tudwa ekoba abusua ensem wa chire pa.
Our country, Ghana, is under siege. A call to rise, resist, and defend the judiciary. That is what we are doing today. There is frightening and ominous clouds now loom over our republic as we march today. It's so clear that the 1992 Constitution, the sacred covenant that binds us as a free and sovereign people, is under assault. The very institutions entrusted with safeguarding our liberties are being infiltrated, manipulated, and desecrated. A ruthless cabal determined to cling to power at all costs. A third-term agenda. Even before NDC under President Mahama could assume the reins of government, we saw a violent assault on our constitutional order. They established the so-called ORA, a committee without any legal basis or constitutional backing, which engaged in flagrant illegality. That was the opening salvo in what has now become a full-blown campaign to dismantle our sacred democratic foundations. Under candidate Mahama's leadership, the NDC deployed mercenaries and thugs to polling stations and collation centers across the country. And we all know what happened late last year. Honorable Ekuya Efriye, who has warned Ablekumanov, the EC is asking for security to enable them declare. NDC is saying they are not going to provide security. What is preventing the IGP, the previous IGP and the current IGP, what is preventing them from providing security for the Electoral Commission to complete its mandate? What we see is intimidation, bullying of state institutions, including the Electoral Commission. These mercenaries and thugs did not only brutalize our parliamentary candidates, agents and supporters, they mutilated our nation. They inflicted physical harm, burned down Electoral Commission offices, and destroyed vital public property. Yet, to this day, none of them has been held accountable in a court of law. Now, under NDC, impunity reigns, and it is at the very top. Since assuming office, His Excellency the President has weaponized the security services, deploying them in retrogressive PNDC-style raids on the homes of political opponents. Dr. Addison, former Governor, Bank of Ghana, and Kenoforiata are victims of such onslaught, including the ADC to former Vice President Mahama. We say to NDC, this is not governance. It is tyranny, cloaked in the robes of democracy. Additionally, President Mahama has arbitrarily dismissed senior military officers with years of faithful service. He has gutted the Ghana Armed Forces of professionals, experience, and neutrality. Our military, once revered for its non-partisanship, is now being painted in NDC colors. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous betrayal of the Republic. And why? Because President Mahama no longer sees himself as a president. He fancies himself an autocrat, a ruler for life. A number of guests at his inauguration told this story. Military dictators, authoritarian sympathizers, men of iron fists and empty conscience. And as if to erase all doubt, he donned full military regalia at a recent armed forces event, parading as commander of a nation he plans to subdue, not to serve. His every gesture speaks to a sinister agenda to break the constitution, amend it, and prolong his grips on power, abetted by a judiciary he is desperate to capture. This explains the relentless siege on the judiciary, a judiciary that has stood as a last bulwark between autocracy and freedom is now his target. Today, the Chief Justice, Gertrude Araba Isaba Saki Tokono, a distinguished servant of this republic, is under siege. The head of the judiciary is being dragged through a sham process of removal from office, engineered by a desperate president and a rubber stamp by a failed Council of State. Their goal is not justice. It is intimidation. It is a warning shot to every judge. Obey or be broken. They do not seek a judiciary that upholds the law. They seek one that bows to the will of a dictator. A bench bent to serve power, not principle. They seek to install kangaroo courts under a democratic facade. What is happening is no accident. It is a warning, a threat, a ruthless message to every judicial officer that dissent will be crushed and independence punished. Let us remember that the PNDC, the ideological ancestor of today's NDC, once murdered 3 High Court judges in cold blood. One of them, Justice Cecilia Krantiano, was pregnant. She died with her unborn child, burned, defiled, and erased. That dark memory now casts a shadow once more as a Mahama returned with vengeance in his heart and fear as his servant. Let us observe a minute silence in memory of those judges who were murdered by the PNDC, the ancestor of NDC. 1 minute silence in memory of these judges who were murdered. May their souls and the souls of all the departed in the judicial service who suffered atrocities at the hands of the PNDC and its successor NDC rest in perfect peace. Amen. This time, instead of bullets and fire, the NDC uses nominations and intimidation. He has proposed 7 new appointments to the Supreme Court. Some competent, yes, but selected to serve his diabolical agenda. He wishes to fashion a judiciary in his image, subservient, pliant, loyal to party above law. It is no coincidence that His Excellency titled his memoir, My First Coup d'etat, and what is unfolding in our democratic institutions appear to be the second. But the judiciary is not his only target. Since returning to power, Mahama has embarked on a sweeping purge of the public and civil service. Hundreds of hardworking Ghanaians, professionals who have served government of all stripes with dignity and skill, have been dismissed without cause or hounded into false resignation. Their only crime was refusing to wear NDC's colors and submit to its wings. This is a direct assault on the principle of neutrality in our public administration. It is a betrayal of the values enshrined in our constitution: merit, impartiality, and service to the nation, not to any political party. And as if the shameful attacks on the Chief Justice were not enough, President Mahama plans to turn his diabolic sight on the Electoral Commission. We hear NDC operatives already out there without shame calling for the removal of the EC chair. They speak of accountability, but who do they think they are misleading? The Attorney General, far from being the guardian of justice, has been reduced to a partisan stool, sweeping away prosecutions against NDC officials and now focusing on NPP officials. Now entangled in a web of allegations and counter-allegations, he has become a perfect reflection of the regime's decay, a symbol not of justice, but of rot in high office. The president himself, who boldly vowed to sanction any appointee who failed to comply with the constitutional mandate to declare asset before assuming public office, has so far failed to sanction these officials who breached his own code. Now he remains silent, lacking the courage to act. Instead of upholding the constitution, his government issues weak denials and evasive statements, shielding the lawless while persecuting the principle. This is not leadership. It is a conspiracy of impunity, a cabal determined to protect its own and crush all who dare to hold them accountable. Let us be clear. This is not politics as usual. This is dangerous, coordinated attack on Ghana's constitutional democracy. And that is why we march today. We march to resist the rise of a new oppressor, one who wears the clothes of democracy but governs with the spirit of dictatorship. We march not as partisans, but as patriots. We march because of the Constitution demands it, article after article of our supreme law, and joins us to defend the Republic, not with arms, but with truth, courage, and lawful resistance. We must, as citizens, be vigilant. We must be relentless. We must use every constitutional tool at our disposal to oppose the descent into despotism. Every citizen who cherishes freedom must rise, loud, bold, and fearless. We must organize, mobilize, and strategize until this diabolical agenda is brought to its knees. We say to the judiciary, your first duty is the constitution, not this president, not any president. You owe allegiance to the Republic and its people. In these trying times, we do not ask you to take sides. We ask you to stand firm, to stand for justice, to stand for Ghana. And know this, you are not alone, and you will never walk alone. We stand with you and will not falter until judicial independence is restored and protected. And to those judges who are being promised of promotions just to cow you, remember, if today it is Tokonu, tomorrow it will be you. Stand firm. Don't be cowed. Don't be attracted to take promises. Let history record that in the darkest of times, we did not cower to the whims of a despotic ruler in democratic attack. Let it be said that when Ghana's democracy bled, we did not look away. We, the people, stood up. We fought back with valor, and we reclaimed our republic.
NPP, I'm on the corner any demonstration.
Of course.
And demonstration, yeah, demonstration, yeah. Ghana for bi mu se na enye necessary as an unnecessary demonstration ena minority na ye no ebe mu so se da bi na onim se ye nkrofo bi o ha omo call demonstration ni bi o ha na omu nim the purpose of the demonstration
assembly nyina no
ana
right eno na me hu ya e shock me se obi adware afifie akra se okọ demonstration okodu ni abisa ne se demonstration a obaye no edie nti ena obaye de na woba be de na woba onim de nti owo ho right papa ba ko sa brante ba ko o se the reason we do demonstration ase ne se oman de mu oho na bibi nkoyi a e wo se mu demonstration a ban ne nsakra enti open sakraye the right onim mpo se aban ne mom na yen sakraye and opposition for ne say omo mpene nsakra so ono de o say oman ni nkoyi open sakraye okuta placard entwaya e wo so no onima de kro
dabi
there was another lady so a ono so ne de no na sem nya ne say chief justice ayeka say odi ni kunu ne ba aka ne ho atupwan in an trip and ni so odi omo ka ne ho no on tell say because Ghana ni bi atupwan e kwa bruchira obetimi de wo ba di wachi akọ ade na chief justice ede ne ba di akira kwa omo si yenyi chief justice si nchen ne wura fi say chief justice de no emra bi ebo ne ho ban say na ni say okọ without the bodyguard
ansana obewran sem nim no
of course
ense demonstration koso no ena na mi bisa me ho question bi eno so Ghana fo nyina e bisa sa question no within 4 months NPP aban ba no Charlotte say omo yini fi ho
of course
ena NDC aban ba his excellency John Dramani Mahama so say me we kwa no nye John Dramani Mahama na aka e nkrofo bi na appetition mampani no
of course
ena mampani no e famra kwa so me nkan se e chief justice efi ho ena opposition party si wo mo ntiase omo hu ni se e bi nsi da but then yensu enim se e bi asida enti ensemi a e kosi wo ye sure se e wo se Ghana for support NPP for
the roger
e wo sure se nka wo se NPP for twen na omunya issue anase aban no koyi ade bia Ghana fo nyina betimi a support o
roger asem ne nyina no esan se ukọ position a ade a opese oya e de betwe massive crowd ade wachi na Ghana fo no wo fom no ate wase se the opposition party is fighting for ordinary citizens na ye say aban ne ye de nye e na Ghana fo complaining na opposition party no what taking advantage of the situation
enti mama fa bibi nye example ti say bia aban dada omo de ile bi ba ya na Ghana fo nyina e kasa no
perfect
na ebi opposition party who kasa obe demonstration na say Ghana fo be support
you because ordinary Ghanaians ne mpe but omanu nuru dwom and say wo na wa no duru dwom no o start ade na Ghana fo no aback you but in this case right assembly nyina say chief justice de no the question is NPP for no omokoye protest no most of omo dey nim no e lawyers including Afenyo Markin sir o lead the protest no o lawyer ni the right de ma asem no nwanwa na sere kakra ne say Afenyo Markin as a lawyer or science parliamentarian no the right onim say e ye mra de ye adwuma enti ubisa de say mampani wa committee error e wo chief justice ne remove animu ana Afenyo Markin be catch say enye ho na wotwe because he knows say mampani committee error bia or the mra na ye adwuma right ye twa asem ni mienu omo me protest no me Ghana for omo twa petition say e ma ye chief justice mfiri ho e na omo so omo twa omo emfa ne say omo twa petition dia ma mampani say only chief justice no omo so ye Ghana for me ye Ghana ni me say enipa asemasi wadi bone mampani yini free ho the right answer say enipa asemasi mampani mesro enyini free ho right obi antwe ne petition fa nkoma mampani ana mampani si okay yanti committee na yehwehwem say wadi bone ana oni bone but your common sense will tell you say you political affiliations in chen na a reason say the aban ne ye no ye ne kwan so na nye ne kwan so say ye ne kwan so a right go ahead Ghana for en support o be support aban no said the aban ye ne no kwan so a wo position ni no wo ye hu de da Ghana for be support o
enti we no ye be sre MPP for ne say omo mpe issue bi a Ghana for be support o na ye no maka bo ma ye demonstration
assembly nyina no me kra na
chief justice dey there
na minim say omo twen say mampani 120 days no enche beso enti ehɔ na na ɔmo de ɔmo ani hwɛ so mampani ɔhyehyɛ bɔ sɛ the first 120 days enti sɛ bia mampani entiman deliver ne bɔ hyɛ ɔhyɛ na nka bia mo de anu bia start di nkɔmɔ nti sɛ no kɔkɔda na bia hɔ na nneɛma nkɔyie yɛto electricity tariffs mu ebia ɛhɔ ana kam be base sɛ o ade 1-2 bi nkɔyie nti sɛ mampani no kɔyɛ bɔne a you based on sadie no but mo de mo se there be better even if sabani the right thing because of chief justice no you feel like oh yemu hunipa you want to protect her but asem ni nyina no
no yenhwɛ de ɔmo se mampani pɛsɛ ɔya no o chief justice ifi ho na ɔsesa Ghana mmra no na ɔkɔtɛtɛ abaye nsɛm bebree ɛna amanfo nso ka ho asɛm ɛwɔ ɔman Ghana ebi se mampani sɛ obetumi ayɛ adwuma na ɔkɔsa tɛtɛm na kɛmfomso bia ni ho ebi muso se dabi the opposition for na ka no ɛnyɛ no kra ɛnyɛ saa adwene no na ɛwɔ mampani trim because Charlotte say NPP for ebeyi ni fio enti mampsema even mampani na akwa ka se oyi chief justice yafiu a ɛnyɛ news bia amanfo se Ghana fo nhwɛ yi a mampani obetumi akɔtɛtɛm yenwura hoy
director on that issue say mampani person akɔtɛtɛm mampani person wo toa so ne a whole lot of things no director masem nyina ne say constitution na ebo ye ho bra na constitution so omo design ya omo design ni 2 terms ya ye hu ni say eye perfect enti ukotu a eye no sam penifo na esi omo nim nyansa ntino me ni 2 terms no omo so ye nyema bebre de ka ho a ye nyintum say omo nim nyansa ntino omo de sa nyema ne ka ho director nyema na me ba be ka ni bini say ye gitum say omo ya nyansa for 2 terms yo kedia eni ade na ye nyintum say omo kro na sa de say constitution no ye wode ye betumi asesa no ene ye wode ye ntumi ensesa no just like that oba sesa na age say ye to so aba e ma Ghana for ye kwere referendum na se Ghana for gituma ansa ne atengi no enti anyansafo no mo hyehyɛ emra no omoa in their sense age to mu say emra na omo hyehyɛ no entimi anya perfect enkosi wiase wie ye e beto da bi e wiase besesa e beto da bi oman a lot of things in the change enti ebe nya se ebe sesa ye mra nim enti se new generation ba na new generation hu ni se mampani di 2 terms ya esha ontimi nya adwuma mampani twa 4 years esha ontimi nya adwuma yemfa nko 6 years yemfa nko 3 terms enti yenko to so aba se ye to so aba right before se be to aba no ebe ko parliament se parliament approve with 2/3 of parliament nti enye se MPs 276 no ye kwato aba na wo we ni wo hokeka you are done age se wo chemu 3 a emu 2 agitum se eyampa yensesa mra no na mampani nko more than 2 terms the right affair no to nchen MPs na approve a ye nwie Ghana fo nyina be kwato aba se ye salary to aba yi mampani no and ye to aba e was a margin huge getting to 70% ye also ye gitum per 10 out no mo be kwato aba no e also mo gitum say ampa emra na ye de ba no they accept it omo penisa and say na mampani akọ 3 terms masem nyina ni MPP force to say se mampani person akọ 3 terms ya the right a very simple mra na ye de adwuma MPP one piece of parliament omo ntwen sa asem no koto ho a omo to know say ye wie na aban na nya 2/3 of the parliament na kire say MPs dodo na ape ye wie na Ghana for sa koto so aba na Ghana for bebre na gituma the right majority carries the vote mama sem nyina ne say eye ehu e na ato MPP for so mampani 3 times ne dem eye propaganda talk eye nsem omo pese the right no correct
ndi also how sure now yes ebia mampani
right sure me yes mampani enko kan so pese okọ 3 times enti na osa chief justice ne say 2023 Nanado the new chief justice ebaye wa bra na sa chief justice no wa wo Supreme Court for only 4 years na ebima wo for more than 8 years oma wa anya omo chief justice ebima wo for 10 years plus okofa obi afi na wadi 4 years pe eye ni chief justice the same mampani ne term na no na wasesa electoral commissioner na wasesa head of security services ni nyina right ene mampani sesa head of security services electoral commissioner so tiwo chief justice nesesa enti se basa eno so na do petete mana yes is no enti ntimi ngasa mampani petete but a political talk propaganda
but the demonstration amanfo se amfa
Roger the much anticipated demonstration. Yeah, na bi koka say sa demonstration we e be shake Ghana be wo so. The right pass na ye dwene say this is a demonstration. One hwa Accra krom be ye ma obi anko na obi aba. Na enya Accra nkwampo. One hwa e be hu say atra akwa other regions of the country. But you could do demonstration that's it. Yeah, demonstration is shas here. But na fedie crowd no through expectation na crowd because NPP from kwa about 4 to 5 political parties here omo Ghana no makom ho abom nti say omo ye demonstration e be shake Ghana na demonstration ni dia na kire say omo nte ade be say science na clear say most Ghanaians including omo party members ehun ni say aban ni nyanya boni bia also me demonstration ti aban they agree with the government nti NPP for no omo be protest bia omo nya abotrans anya sa but wo ye say na edipa ma e ngwasa it goes against you
yenko this video emra honorable sika yenten sem ode atudwa and say ensam na no hye mampani wonso nsam wa ha say yebekom baransa na yenko hamrai
so o man na police nya adwuma lawyer anya adwuma court anya adwuma anya so wawu sese ya mama no buku joba mo brantam ese bibia wa emra ni ho mse mranya dai is this the democracy we want to live in? No. This is not. How many say about parliament about emra judiciary yane emra no judiciary no awa ho dinsi ni nyina. Now they are setting a very dangerous precedent in the history of Ghana. Omo peso omo ye bibia na soja bana ba tetina ye de mapo eba sabi wo ma say ofruka ye boss no anu na NDC peso omo de ba na peso we draw na kasa da bida me say dey eti me minimra me carry a chiro me say me kasa we no go sit down madam chitinas every day music bida every day Dabida. I'm telling you today that 2028 the new patriotic party of Ghana, the best party on the continent of Africa, the party that believes in democracy, the party that believes in fundamental human rights, the party that believes in the rule of law. We are coming back. We say we are doing what? We are doing what? And now we come Makola. Also, Rastika, Yanuya home. Miko magazine Kumase, Omsi Adai, Yanuya home. Miko Tasi Rankibi, Omso Mayadai. I am telling you for a fact that the NDC do not believe in any law. The NDC people, they don't believe in rule of law. They don't believe in your protection. They don't believe in the preservation of fundamental human rights. They don't believe in the adherence to our democracy. Because when it comes to the law, go and read Article 1 and 2. Go and read Article 17. Go and read Article 30.
Honorable Sticker.
And somehow,
say NPP for me de no credit da wa no ka che nipa.
Okay.
Mesre NPP for mpanin for no.
Yeah.
Omunya botre. Yenim say opposition tina no ya pa and me hu de say no omo hyehye omo papa omo papa asodin a omo ye no eno na ma Ghana for koto abetia omo akwaze say no ntasentase ache omo nti baby omo sande ade na fa no omo opposition but omo say ko wrong way
semre nya
omo hwe ya omo say ko opposition mu opposition
okay
enti omo hyehye ne ma yi
roja metiase pa because NPP opposition and chair
dabi
na say aban ni ye bibi na money aban ni nya na mu kwa demonstration but as the mountain platform and I would also kwa protest a kire ewiase nyina na o man say de mampani ye no mompe mampani nyai o mountain platform na wotina so and na watwa nyom na woto nyom the better in this situation na yiwom and baby as the cardinal na which was as the cardinal ye say it is a mire bi mo school junior high school na mo kobo a the better say ni obi ho no won fa ho ya hye mo maso and nyom na and o mbetwi akopim say kan be kwa kodru fie the better honorable sticker so be kaya at the time NPP power no okotena TV so sunye
oh yeah
say na na do say oman no mom ye nwene oman no ho obey deputy finance minister won so biem
also they say securities in yadwuma oman Ghana mu biem
brother ehona
entro no munyai
I was shocked
omunyai
say they always went to lie say o kan insama kire Ghana for say maami foko dwoma omun ko fie ntem because sa asem to a police nya adwuma court nya adwuma security services ni nyina nya adwuma lawyers nya adwuma the right thing look at the picture omu etwa e de akire Ghana for in this case there na si wa Ghana police nya adwuma bi mo Ghana all of a sudden
say so omu kan say e beto ni peti
enti wa country stage say NDC aban de omu ye ne say omu pese omu san kofa soldier aban military rule edeba na omu govern Ghana to say de omu ya soldier for omu sora na omu bronkofo enti de ote yante obi a onimu kan onimu twere na the level of education of man on sign good access to good news no right otifie na otiepe ne party mpanifa kam na te say NDC for person omodane oman soldier aban enye kaduma minka bibie o kofo trotro babo wasun o ko dwoma ye bu o ntimi nkoye police case because police is not working but these are certain things they've been doing for so many years amwa wo mo asem ni nyina ne se enkan na o kan to ma be fotiri but ene youth na aba no they have access to internet they learn nti won ntimi fa asem we na da mo very sad but the right o ma choose say sa path na no mbeko na Steka can simply. Or say the best political party in the continent of Africa. The Africa, 54 countries. No? Political parties are woman in Anna. Or the best. And a party problem won't even solve.
Anna, we are the best, sir. Omunya bear 39% too. The best no na what mean 39%.
Ghana population less than 34 million year voters. Nipa Omari is to mutimi to aba in 20 million. You are not getting half of it. Also, you are the best political party in Africa. But Emrani say ya. Say Emrani say ya one cha. So the oka many people musono. Na omasa ko opposition in opposition.
And only asama make a trouble.
You want opposition in opposition. One cha. Sane baba. Too bad.
Yemfio because demonstration say akoye nsem free. Na enquire this video Emra. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or in Zambia to da no ena ede ayemhyehyia to nkrofo bi so afei so waye move bia Ghana fo nyina e bona baso ye video ni mom ekoba commander baye ho adwuma.
The 18th February 2025 I set a deadline of 31st March 2025 for all appointees who are taking office or being nominated at the time to declare their assets. An update provided by the Auditor General to my office indicate that some of you failed to meet that deadline. For all those who are appointed or nominated before 31st March 2025 and failed to meet the deadline, you are to forfeit 3 months of salary to be donated to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, named after me, Mahama Cares. In addition to 1 month's salary that I've asked all appointees to donate to the Mahama Cares Trust Fund. So it means that those who omitted to declare assets by the date, you are paying 4 months' salary to Mahama Cares. However, if by close of day Wednesday, 7th May 2025, any of you still fails to declare your assets, count yourself automatically dismissed. Because when it comes to protecting the integrity of this government, I will not compromise. Citizen engagement and reporting. Accountability does not end at the walls of this room and in just one code of conduct. I invite the citizens of Ghana to play a role in monitoring compliance of this code. A portal will be created for the public to report suspected breaches with guarantees of confidentiality and impartial investigation.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Yeah, business.
And some people know they are to die, and some of Dawson. And any one nothing. Yenya ho adwumai.
Roger, assemble ya assemble kwa. Mampeni be gini din ache pa biem. Na se ofri aban mu a amanfo de be kai ne pa. The right wonim say one problem agana ye wo. Eye problem we are in the president is trying to solve. But asem nyina ne say mampani ne ka asset declaration no na man focus enkosi aga because in 2016 na na do baba mu oka bi say omunya asset declaration ankosi hweye but finally mampani nkyerɛkyerɛ mu ne nkɔma odi akyerɛ ni nyina ne say or set a deadline on the 31st of March say wo we government appointee bia no declare asset and sana 31st of March twam the right wo want me anya declaration no emra no penalty acho enti o 3 months salary there on sanka aban no afa the right already obia e donate ne 1 month salary e de ato Ghana medical fund ni
e ho de ye bobo mo baso
but asem ni nyina no nti mampani donate ni 6 months e na mo donate mo 1 month enti 1 month no e na say one declare asset before 31st March enti o 3 months aketua so aban na fa nya dia ubenya the right baby aye me dey say the president can try say or sign the date ato so after say afa usika no on the 7th of May a true not still one could declare asset ya opposition na odema wo no say uye minister uye MMDC uye hwan automatically we yi wadi when the court na fie na entos nya
ebe ma appointees na ni abra ya adwuma
right aha ene be me hu omo ya kromfo
because one nya adwuma se sie na MPP for ya start demonstration yo
asem ni nyina
it is one nya adwuma na pressure be ba so no
right asem ni nyina no you need to work because omo dwen say everything bia no omo be complain nti oye mampani a that should even be a motivation you was a motivate you say the odi me cha wo pam me no omre me a me dwane peme nkwa no me na me gina utimi nyina home right as a man pani ne be say ya ube hu say omakoye protest opponent aye protest no discussion will not be on the protest discussion ya gwa ko gina man pani na de papa oye no e ho na attention nyina be ko right enam ne gusu kasai opa ma 7th May ni nru na man pani koyi krofo adi say asemasi no benten omantimi anya asset declaration enunti yayi wo madi omakwa kotena fi but you will see omo na omunya friends of the government na omo enya abane sympathizers omo be sha say tuodi abane chi because abane bo adwuma but as say ne be kwa mampani is on the right track so washa from January ne ba no as a mampani no oye de ade a Ghana for ewo interest ewo and I really like it but aside that gift in Zambia sapiem
Yankona this video emra.
Okay.
Yes, and say I say no mampani sa de nsem bi tudwa e wo ha. And say ha so akachi attention pa to the yankona yanko tiemra e ba commander the information nyina beto aso.
No political appointee under this administration is permitted to purchase state assets, whether land, vehicles, shares, or buildings directly or indirectly. If you attempt to do so and you are found out, your appointment will be terminated. We are here to protect the national interest, not to help ourselves to the national purse. Sanctions for violation. The code sets out consequences for breach, public apology, from public apology to reprimand, to suspension, to resignation, or ultimately termination. Let me assure you that these sanctions are not cosmetic, they will be enforced. And I will not hesitate to act firmly and decisively, no matter who is involved. Kindly do not put me in a position where I have to make that drastic choice. Because when it comes to protecting the integrity of this government, I will not compromise.
and say I said the video near me no
of course
but then yenyi ni mako na for yenya ho adwuma
yeah
minim ba bi abedi kan fa
well the right mama starting free a japade tori because e what the pa
yenko hoy
the right aban ne ba power no nkomo bebra na ekoso ye say previous government no omafam afa omajapade omato eniema e wo oman mu nyina ntina ye bisa say next government ba aban vehicles ne property ye ohye no omo ane beto o de to nchen ya aban sase nyina omo ane beto but mampani nkoma wadi it is a bit relieving na me nka say a bit important rather a relieving to Ghanaians say mampani no am making it clear na ye no order na say ye no parliamentary bill na ba ye mra wo man ni say o ye government appointee a wontimi nto oman japade say ye car eye asase rather eye bungalow and also even shares ewo aban investment mu no you cannot purchase anything eye aban dey because emrani tia and entimi nso nye indirect say ofa obi so ofa adwuma bi so dey ato it cannot work that way
ana ade aya na ya ne se obefra ban mu na aban foforo be ba no ase wo appointees no yenye omho asem ka ye kochi bi ye we say na eno no chese wa ban na nkoyie entsesie na do dan kwakufu ado yesi ye kwachi we okwa no tv a wa bambebu
brother wa bambebu o timi na because it is telling you say one ye dimpa wa tire omo no omo ye adwuma nyina no people are chasing them omo de mago machi say omo ye akromfo nti ebasa wo pani na woda wo man no it assumes say wo ye kromfo pani the problem ni nyina is say aban sase cars ene niema politicians are omo ya appointees oboto no ebasa ya Ghana for benya fotoso bi say we are putting a stop to it amam for wa adwen bi so mutirim say ukopie mo portwa o ka wo ka ne wo niema ba politicians ne pafa na o ma hyeda o ye den a na huge tax na da so wantimi a na ya bon ocean na o ma to no mutim in this case they cannot purchase sa anyone because they are government appointees rather ebasa ya straight away mampani se ukọ purchase anase indirectly say what the fa obi so company bi so no mokoto a na say yen sakawa automatically mrana no obedi and aban so what dismiss so who you want and I salute the president on that on the second side a gift na mpanifo say ehunu bi penti abasrewa onje ne background we yin ni atonten
ene ade ne bebui
in 2016 mampani mama obekaya manasa zuri eye expose bi akoba say contractor bi no ye Burkina Bay ye man adwuma ye Ghana auto Ford expenditure e de mampani mama as gift ene koba say Ford expenditure no na enise mampani gi because mampani na odi animu ma ya award contract no say contractor che wo card ya na kire say odi no dada mampani to lobby for contracts the contractor wo gi wa ban no nya no ebetima say e appreciation anase nkomo agi nka course dada say ye ma wadwuma na nso atoka ma nti wo hwe ya omodi ye campaign eti amampani emeko ensem bebre enti mampani wa learn from the past mistakes e course ebata kamienu
ana akwasenya ntachi so okoje gift na anu bi
mo
ensem brand pa nti aban mu nipa de anasa appointed de gift okoje de
Roger, only gift any tracker. Enti mampani cars ni mienu baaye no. Na mampani say omunko presenting former chief of staff. Na aban nem fa. Mampani cars no. Of course, mampani deserve body or they check aban nem fa. But wa manage wo mampani say oye government appointed na say odu government office ya. Na say obi ema gift ya a year at least equivalent to 20,000 Ghana cedis. The writer gift no only who kwan say wa woje na odi show the obetima nyina say age say ekọ aban mu na say mpo eye ajapade a wutimi use an ade ye use a wo free office ho a enya odia ubeja na office ho na ukọ and sa aban ma okwan a na woje nti coupons ene niema ye de man krofo ne hampers nyina no the writer say oji a eye ade emu odu 20,000 and above. I just say aban ni mum usiki approval. Aban jituma ansa na wetu agina ne gine mpono. Oji a enya wodia eye oman ne dia. Usu a you leave it at the office. Na obi aba beto so. The writer mampani na he's on the right track. Yen hwe say the washa see. You be keep mampani no on his toes. Na wa ye adwuma saa. You appreciate it.
quick one yɛde mu si yɛkɔ yɛbɛsa ba biem yɛkaefo nyinaa